Well, I am going to be losing all sleep and all time with the rest of my life. We're back with World War II, baby. Hello, Too Tall here, coming in the search bar to bring you another video. And if this island looks familiar to any of you who know World War II, that is indeed Wake Island. Now, if you've also seen my channel, you know I've done a live stream before, when I used to do live streams. This was sort of one of the games. Ladies and gentlemen, though there are probably no ladies watching this, and if there are, awesome, welcome to this channel, the hell you doing? And if there's men watching it, well, you also love history. This is Pacific Storms. As I said, I've done a live stream before on this game, but not this game in particular. More or less the the successor to this game, which doesn't work. It is a broken game, the files don't work, but there's a great mod for it coming out that we've seen. That's Pacific Storms Allies, which adds so much more content, so much more customization, and so much more units into the game. It's amazing. But it's unplayable. It is literally unplayable. You get about 2 games in before the files just corrupt themselves and it crashes. You can probably play for, let's see, for the campaign, you got about 4 hours of gameplay before it just flat out crashes after a certain date and it will not let you continue. And if you do big battles with aircraft, the game will crash because it gets confused with the ID of the aircraft. It somehow confuses when you launch so many planes. American planes become Japanese planes, British planes, and German planes. They all get mixed up and it's just ends up not working. Literally unplayable. Yet to this day, I will still play the only 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours I can of that game because it's so damn fun. And sometimes I just fuck around with it. And with the mod we played, Pacific Fury, a massive overhaul with it. It adds into Dutch and the Germans and the Russians. Sometimes you take the Americans and just fight the Dutch. Why not? You get no consequence. Well, that game, like I said, was the successor to this game, just Pacific Storms. And as you saw in the intro, it has a much, much, much better intro than Allies. Because the Allies like, oh cool, we're all together. It's like, it's cool rock music. And then you got this intro, which is just war, death, fuck. Now, why am I playing this again? Well, I did a little bit of testing at my own time, because I wondered something. Because I was downloading Pacific Storm Allies for a thing I'm doing with some friends, or gonna try and do. And decided to check something. And it turns out, a major flaw of why I never played this game seemed to have fixed itself, at least in testing from what I was doing with my single players. And that was whenever a bomb, a shell, no matter which caliber, landed anywhere near a ship, all the anti-aircraft guns would just fly off the ship in comedic fashion. It was fucking hilarious, but then like destroyers, the main guns, those counted as the anti-aircraft guns, they would fly off, so now you have no destroyers with no weapons other than torpedoes. And since we are the Americans and we have the Mark 15, you can see what the problem is there. So, yeah. But all my testing, which was pretty much having an Iowa-class battleship and just letting bombs drop because it happens to the Iowas, it happens to everyone, just let bombs, everything just bomb anywhere near it from valves. And I had a Nagato shooting at it. It worked. So, this pleases me greatly. We're going to select a profile. We're going to delete that profile, yes, I'm sure. And we're going to name it. Looks like I'll have to fix that again. Too tall, obviously. Create, select, options. Turn that back up slightly. Apply, options, advanced, and tell me none of these. Did these all stay the same? It did. Good, good, good. Now, if we do a new game, we highly recommend starting a campaign or a tactical mission only after the training has been completed. I have spent years playing this game. I played this game back when I was just a little child in the basement on a little single computer. which is where this problem came from. Probably because this is a different version. Patches and all that. Anywho. Single player, and we have a few options. We have our training. We have our free campaign, which is pretty fun. In the free campaign, the line of forces is somewhat simplified, and the balance of power between the two warring sides is made more or less equal. The United States do not have free access to the territories of their allies, but must develop them on their own. And the bulk of the American fleet is concentrated in the naval bases on the west coast, San Diego. And the United States, well, they have an economic power. It's huge. The Japanese is the only real thing at the start of the game. Large numbers of island occupied means quick expansion. Your economy needs to be developed. This development may be accelerated by geographical expansion. Very much is very, very easy. But with a free campaign, you have pretty much your home bases, and that's about it. Like the Americans, they don't have access to Hawaii or the Philippines or Midway, just their home little main 3 ports. Not even Panama. Japan has, I think, like 3 ports, and even a bunch of island places in Japan. Long story short, it's literally free to play. Then we have the historical campaign, which is pretty much how right there's the map right there. Now, unfortunately, there is no Britain in this one, because it's just Pacific Storm. But I'm okay with this. So, it was a little easier. It's like in this historical lineup, is as close to real history as possible. The United States have a huge economic and enjoy free access to the base of their allies, but the American troops are inexperienced and the Japanese pilots and sailors are much more experienced than the Imperial Japanese Navy. And this game handles experience beautifully. Like, I love how it is because everything matters. The strongest force in the region, but they have less, economic. Because in this game, skill determines everything. And I truly mean this. If you have a 5-star pilot compared to a 1-star pilot, it doesn't matter what plane they're in. Sure, a Zero versus a Wildcat, I'm going to be able to outclimb the Zero and outspeed the Wildcat in every way, shape, and form. However, if that Wildcat pilot is a 5 stars and the Zero is 1 star, I don't know how it calculates it, but as a Wildcat will do the correct maneuvers it needs to get the shots off and not get hit, where the Zero will not. And will pull the correct maneuvers when needed to. And will fire at a better attack angle, will know when to fire, and just handles the plane much better. For ships, damage control and accuracy. And, anyone who knows anything about damage control and accuracy of gunfire, it's quite important, especially for the Japanese. And for engineers, it increases the speed at which you build buildings on the island. And for the army, it increases the amount of they have better combat capabilities, i.e., I believe if I remember correctly, it's like if you have an expert versus 4 just recruits, like straight out of basic, and one guy who's been fighting, it's 1 to 5 pretty much. But it's easy to train up your troops to at least get trained. They got battle experience and experts. It's beautiful. Now, I really, 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 really want to play as the Americans. However, a little too easy. So we're going to play as the Japanese. We're going to keep it on normal. And we're going to do... We'll do historical. And if this does okay, and if some people, which is only going to be a few, want to see a free campaign where we just go around, and I might do live stream to that, let me know in the comments section below. But I talked for 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Let's get this going. Although this is from Steam, I want to say that I used to have a game. I'm not gonna get a chance to read that. I don't think. And the principle is no. So you might notice something slightly problematic down there. It's in German. Some of the stuff is in German. I have no idea how to fix it. I don't know, but everything that's important is in English, and I've played this game so much, I have everything pretty much memorized on how to play this. Imperial Headquarters appoints you to the Commander-in-Chief of the Imperial Japanese Navy and Air Force in the Pacific. Congratulations! Now the responsibility not only for the future of our country, but also the future of the entire New World rests on your shoulders, so no pressure. From the very beginning of our political and military initiatives in Asia, the Western powers have been openly doubting our God-given right to govern this region, to maintain their evil influence economics and political system of sovereign Asian countries, and to keep the territories they acquire in unjust colonial wars. Britain, Holland, France, and most importantly the United States of America engaged in a hostile political campaign against our country and provides military support to our enemies. They are currently planning a series of economic measures designed to starve us of strategically important materials. 4 months ago, our staunch ally Germany started a war in Europe. Our analysts expect resumption of large-scale military operations in Europe in the next few months. The militaries of Britain, France, and possibly the Soviet Union will be fully occupied fighting Germany and its European allies. Public opinion in the United States is strongly against any American involvement in Europe. The American Army and Navy are not likely to pose any serious threat to our military might in the near future, and that is true. All this leads us to conclude that direct military confrontation with the United States, the strongest, most hostile to Japan's nation in the Pacific, is inevitable. You will be responsible for the development and production of the latest weapon systems for our Air Force and Navy, as well as the development of strategic plans of our future military operations in the Pacific. You have 2 years to develop a strategy for defeating the Americans and to prepare our Air Force and Navy for a swift and decisive action that will end the American presence in the area once and for all. Asia should be free from Western influence, and only Japan has the right to be its leader. You have all necessary resources and power to prevail against the Americans. Now this is actually interesting, if by January 1st, 1942, you fail to start a war with the United States, you will be dismissed from your post as Commander-in-Chief. To win the war, you must seize a hold for 2 months, Panama, and any of the following bases: Bremerton, Montgomery, and San Diego. Now, as you can see, things that would be owned by, the Dutch and the British are owned by the Americans, because the Dutch and the British don't exist in this game. And we have very, very, very little islands. Let's see. I thought there was a base up here. No. Alright, that's unfortunate. I think the only base I can build here is Saipan, the Southern Marshall Islands. There's Wake, High Wake, in the Carolina Basin. And of course we got Guadalcanal, Bougainville. And I think that's about it for islands down here. I think, yeah, that's really about it I can do anything of. So, here's some major difference that I noticed already. If I go here, I'm not going to go through this, and I go to our production window. Yeah. First off, we, unlike in the base game, we actually have to, in Allies, we actually have to build the anti-aircraft systems we want for our anti-air artillery and the artillery system for the shore batteries. Whereas in base game, you just, or in base game, in the mod, you can build, the Japanese get the Yamato guns as their shore artillery, which, well, you can't say that. Or they can go down to smaller. The Americans have a choice between the Baltimore's guns or the 5-inch 38 dual purpose. But in base game, or in Allies, you just get the choice of anti-aircraft artillery and what's it called? Ghost artillery, and they're already pre-designed for the Japanese. It's a twin 25mm. For the Americans, it's a single 20mm Oerlikon, which is useless. Or is it a single Bofors? The Americans can get a single Bofor, a single Oerlikon, 2 Bofors, or a quad Bofor, which obviously I would pick a quad for the anti-air system. And for us Japanese, we can get 1, 2, or 3 25mm because we're Japan and we have this thing sucks. But we will not be relying on our artillery anti-air. There's also a few ships that don't exist. Oh, Taiho does exist. We don't have the Mayoko class cruiser. We also, that's really about it for here. Oh, and our unfortunate escort ship only has anti-air guns, no actual heavy shit though. We don't have, the only fighter we get is the A6M and the A67, and that's really about it for airborne. We don't get anything really good. We don't get any massive new aircraft. The Americans, it's less change for the Japanese, but for the Americans, it is way, way more hindered. Like, you don't get it. The Americans, they don't start off with a torpedo bomber. They do not get the TBD. They have loads of, so they're pretty much their carriers that we're going to be fighting. The Lexington and Essex are going to have loads and loads and loads of SPDs. Ouch! But they have to research the Avenger. But it's an SPD. All these ships can get hurt by an SPD except for the Yamato and the Taiho. Now we're currently building 2 Yamatos. And we have very little money. So, what we're going to do immediately here is go to our technologies. And right now, the government wants us, that's what this says in German, is the government wants us to build a 112 or 1200 horsepower engine in 75 days. We have 75 days to do it. And when we do that, we will, if I go to here, we'll get some money, aluminum, morale, and income. Now, some of these missions are lovely, like this one, easy to do, and I'm going to get it anyway. Some of them are a little bit of a bitch. Like the government be like, hey, we want you to build on Iwo Jima. We want you to build, what's it called? Coastal artillery. Cool, I can't do that until I build it from the homeland. I have to make sure I have a free transport ship to go. So it can be a little bit annoying. It's difficult. But with how I know some few, quote, cheats, and these aren't cheats because the AI will do this as well. And not maliciously. But I know the AI can do, but what you do is pretty much, as I've shown, what you do is you put in, I think, I'm not sure if it works in this game, but you put in how much you want. Like, let's say I want to make a fleet of some destroyers. Well, what you do, let's say I want to make a fleet of 4 destroyers, or a division of 4 destroyers, which is a division. I want to build 4 of them, but I want to be able to constantly get these. Well, what the game wants you to do is do this. Well, you build 4 destroyers, you click apply. There you go. There's your 4 destroyers. It will now take you approximately 300, pretty much a year to build these 4 destroyers. Well, then you could do this. Well, okay, well, if I want to build 4 destroyers, I can do, like, 1 at a time to split it, which in about 140 days, you will have a destroyer, 4 destroyers. However, there's a lot easier way to do it. And I know the AI does this because you would do it too. And I found this completely by accident. I want to build 4 destroyers, but I want to get them off in like nice even numbers. So I'll actually build 3 destroyers and high subsidies. And here's how you do it: you click apply, and you set this to important, so you can get this down. And every time you set it to important, it'll let you know when a unit gets produced. So let me know when 1 gets done. Cool. When 2 gets done, this is where the trick comes in. What you do is you pause it. Because when you pause it, well, you no longer have to pay for it. But the progress stays. And then what you do is you click, where is it? Is it in here? Actually, huh. I'll go to hell. I can't do it in here. Now that's interesting. It would say change. I'll go to hell. Well, it would be something along the lines of like change parameters. And then what you do is you change the parameters. It would go back to what it originally was, so for 3 destroyers, but it won't work here now. Okay, that makes things a little difficult. I'm okay with it, because it means the AI can't do it. And AI doesn't do it maliciously, because the AI will, change the subsidies. It will decrease the amount of subsidies you put to a thing and decrease the priorities and everything. Because sometimes you don't need it. You need to change your priorities, and so. Now that is interesting. So. However, we're going to leave the things on, and I am going to immediately start producing. Oh, what's the highest? I'm thinking 100 will be just fine. Time 29 days. Oh yeah. And then for artillery, we're going to be using the... between the Mogami? Let's see, let me take a look here. So obviously this is a 6-inch. 5 rounds a minute. 2 rounds a minute. Oh no, 4 rounds a minute. 152. Worst armor. I'm not going to do these because these are... If these were the 100 millimeters, I would probably say yes, but they're not. They're the guns on the Kagero. Alright, well, this is obviously much better than because there's only 1 less round a minute. So yeah, so we'll do these, and obviously it's like a lot longer. We'll build 100 of them. This one, because what's going on, I want the subsidies to be high on that one. We're obviously building 2 Yamatos, which will be Yamato Musashi. And for technologies, we are going to start building immediately the 1200, which will take us about how many days? 50 days. Beautiful. All right, and then we're going to go through, and we're going to go through anything that's under 100 at the moment. We'll do that. I'll be right back. My place just got really cold. One moment. Okay, that was actually a little bit of a scary because like a heavy-duty giraffe that felt like... Yeah, I'm putting it right here, but it's not the air. Scared to shit. I thought somebody thought one of my doors opened. Let's see. Yeah, these are all random, or all not all random. But these are all different. Like the Americans have a much better research rate of their radar. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, you probably saw some interesting stuff around here, like radio command guidance and something along the lines of missiles. Yeah, also we're gonna want that. Don't need that. Bacterial bomb. Yeah, the Americans get the atomic bomb, we get the bacterial bomb. 100 days. Pressure limiter. Alright, well, I'm gonna go grab everything that's under 100. Oh, and this, yeah, a device for injecting water methanol into jet fuel. This allows to briefly boost aircraft speed beyond design limits. Frequently used the water methanol significantly decrease the engine's service life and may even cause engine failure. Yes, it will. Now, this also, like amethol, it makes you 80% ammonium nitrate, and ammonium is a very powerful explosive. It does increase the destructive power of your artillery and bombs, which is awesome. And I think there was something else. Was it this one? No. Nope, it was low solid thrust. Yes. Snorkel. I think it was a glide bomb. No. Acoustic. 150. Magnetic. Oh, we got wire guided too. Yeah, 30-kilometer long wire. Can you imagine that shit? Well, I say that there are torpedoes that can go a lot longer, and they have those wires. Right, I think that's good. The ballistic computer will be very useful. Oh, and a little interesting fact too. We go here. You can change what your ships use, like some of your equipment. This is very, very limited compared to allies. But and the Japanese, like it's very limited in this, unfortunately. But if we take a look at the anti-air for the Japanese, they only get 1 increase. The Americans get 4, and they get much better anti-air fire control. The Japanese sort of get just about the same fire control if you manage to survive that long. Let's see. This is nice. You can change from the 203 to the Yamato's 155 if you felt like it. Let's see. Radio stations. And this is nice. In the base, in Allies, you would have to replace some of the main gun turrets for these. Yes, you can put SAM launchers on these. And the fun is it replaces 2 of the 5-inch guns. So yes, you can have surface to air missiles, you can have air to air missiles, and you can have air to ground missiles. thing I love about this game. Unfortunately, we can't change much. Catapult. Some of these stuff you can't. Well, actually, here. Let me see if I can. This ship is much better. So let's actually copy a modification for the Agano class. And I like to name this 19. I like to name them based on the year, at least at the end. So let's see. Here we can do the. We can make our version of Atlanta, where we have the Agano class or the Akatsuki class of the guns, which really felt like it, which would be a bad idea to help escort carriers. Here we can put some anti-air here. There's already anti-air there. 80 can't change those. Now this I can change. They're 3 25mm, or we can do this to a single. Oh. Whoa, hang on. That's a 40mm. Now to check what the new ship looks like, you got to go to the 3D model. Yeah, those are 40mm. I'll take those over to 25mm. But you get a 3D model here, which is nice. Alright, I'll take the 40mm. More 25mm. More 25. Ah, and this back gun is how we replace it to the surface air launcher if we really, really wanted to. But yeah, I will take. Glad I take a 40mm. Actually, let's see. Does it tell me the range? It doesn't give me the range. Gopher is obviously better. 115, 140. Yeah, so I'll keep that. Like I said, at least I assume they're the Bofors, but they don't say so. But they sure as hell look like a Bofors system. So we'll do that. Now, I'm going to go through, and I'll gladly do this on screen, because this is one of my favorite things, and we're going to go to copy. And we are going to literally redesign every single ship we have to the 1940s spec. Because we're not going to get any upgrades for these ships at the 1940s. Let's see, we got the optical rangefinders, which we have right now, an anti-aircraft fire control unit, and then we eventually get a radar. And look how much required technology it takes for the Japanese. It is hard. Nothing new here. Nothing new, nothing new. Can't get a jam right, and that's how you jam active incoming. So, yeah, unfortunately, I can't take away. Oh, I can! I'm gonna do that. Makes it a little cheaper, and, well, these things are utterly pointless. Maybe. Optical rangefinder, anti-air, anything. Can't change any of those, but I can change those when I get the chance. Can't change your turbines. Yeah, Japanese don't have very much in the form of anti-air. Which is sad, but, well, like I said, we're not going to really be relying on our anti-aircraft. I'm going to place one of the guns, which looks like it's a forward gun. Oh no, it's just on a gun here. That, can't change that. Oh, we can change the B turret and the X turret. Don't have sonar. Sad. Can't do anything here. Can't do anything here. Yeah, we go. So this thing only has 2 anti-air guns, but it does have the 100mm. Hoko for transport. I don't really give a shit about that. The Otsugata. It shows the little Kentons. I don't think I have those in this one. We're not gonna mess with anything here because you can't change anything here. Except for obviously that's the Kagero. Copy modification. Let's see. Rename. It's not that. Oh. 1940. Let's see. Bombshells, which are depth charges. Let's see. I will do that. Don't have any radar. Get the dual purpose there. Which is, I believe, the fore and aft. Don't have that. Can't do anything there. do anything there or there or there or there, and that's what takes. You think in a Pacific Storm allies, you actually lose a torpedo launcher. For the Americans, that's not a problem. For the Japanese, it is. Here's our tanker. We're not gonna mess with her. Our Mogami, which is stop. Oh well, I think I just copy. Rename. I hate that. Does that? 1940. Let's see. Yeah, we already looked at this. I'm just thinking. Look-see. Yeah, we'll just keep the 203s for now. I don't think there's anything I can change on here. Copy. Rename. Oop. So there's been another cut because I accidentally hit the wrong button. So we got 8-inch guns for the secondary. And allies, you can actually change these to 140 mils. But I don't even do anything else here. No, I already know exactly what I want there. Copy modifications. And this is just this ship is just a copy and paste of the American Everett class. I don't think. Oh yeah, but you can make these into really, you know, sub hunters. Yeah, that's about it for that thing. Taiho, Great Phoenix. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes, please. And in Japanese did eventually build. Oh, you don't get a SAM system. That's unfortunate. That is sad. However, you probably won't need one. Then we got our Yamatos. Copy. Oh, I could probably name it Taiho. Hang on. 1940. Rename. And once I get done with the ships, or I don't know, we'll get done renaming this because this is gonna date. This is the longest part of the setting up a game for me, and thankfully it's a lot easier than what it originally was. Oh yeah, let's add in more. Let's add in more secondary guns. Heck yeah! Oh Jesus, just like the Iowa, you can get freaking 4 SAMs on these things. Good lord. Yeah, give me some more fire directors. More anti-air. More anti-air. Lovely. And then Zuikaku, which might be our mainstay carrier class. Zuikaku class. Even though it's actually the Shokaku class, but hey, I digress. Oh yeah, give me the Bofors. Yes. And it can have SAM launchers on the forward. Plus, the Shokaku class is by far one of my favorite carrier designs. Like, it just screams aircraft carrier. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, we're missing a bunch of areas where there would be eventual anti-aircraft guns, but hey. Oh, we got a bunch of Bofors, though. At least 40 millimeters. And now let's... Oh, forgive me. Let's mess with our planes here. This thing. We can put 12 point... We can put, yeah, 12.7s. I ain't gonna mess around with any of these damn things. What? You can upgrade the engine on this thing? What is it? I think it's a Mark II. It's gotta be a Mark II. Oh wow, you gotta really increase this one, Jesus. So let's see. So we're gonna be using the main things we're gonna be using are these, and let's see. Is it the KI61 we get with the 20? Well, no, yeah, I will love to use the KI61. Can't get the KI48. The M1K will be our best plane ever. Got this for probably escorting bombers, I'd say. D4Y will be lovely to get, and then the B7A will be lovely to get. And we got, of course, the A6M7, I believe? Actually, no, we don't get the A6M7. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, right there. Alrighty. So our zeros. We got the crappy Mark I version, which is only 60 rounds and a velocity 555. Absolute dog shit. This thing has a much better velocity, more ammo, and much better rounds per minute. Much better. 7.7, we will eventually change these to 12.7 millimeters. We will not do... Yeah, we'll do what I normally do. So we're going to take a copy of the A6M, and we're going to name this the type modification. Rename. A6M. Fuck off. Two. 12.7. Can't mess with any of that. So we have the Type 98, which is a common fighter plane. We got the Type 4, which is a precise. 319 and 22 advanced. So we want the Type 4. Got what is it? Type 1 M3. I think that's what that one is. Yeah, that one's a much better radio theoretically. That one's a much better radio. Engine. So everyone right now is currently using this thing as a whole. That's a shit engine. That is much better. Now here's the thing about the engine, actually. It decreases the range. I guess because it uses more fuel. It's actually not a lot of max speed increase, honestly. But we can do fuel tanks. These things are designed for carrier, so this should be fine. Well, let's see, because I can always change around with this. And then we get the, we're going to get 6mm aircraft armored plate. We're not going to use 12, because I think it's just a little too heavy. We'll use 6. And I won't do any fuel tank protection for now. What's the range of the B7? Alright, so with this... Oh, my bad. So in order to go as far as the B7 without any extra, just on the internal, we would actually have to keep the Suzy 31. But I'm going to get the Sake 12. We can put fuel tanks on these things, so that's fine. B5N. Copy modification. Rename. B5N2. You have a single machine gun and turret. We're gonna get that to a 12.7. You have no radar at the moment. Get you the better radio. Get you that's a better bomb sight, right? No, that's a better bomb sight. You get just one. And we are going to get you protection for the fuel tank because you're a torpedo bomber and you're slow. And now for the D3A, copy modifications, rename to A2, enter. For your turret, again, it's 12.7, same with your forward guns, why not? The better radio, the better keep bomb sight, field tank protection, and you can't change at all. That's okay. That's unfortunate, but it's okay. So we got the 8.6, and then we got our land-based fighter, the Ki-43 Oscar. Let's copy the modifications. Can't put the cannon in use, sadly. So for land-based aircraft, this thing. For land-based, I think we'll do we'll just use letters for this. So A. Can't get a 10, which is sad. Get to the good site, better radio. Get the same engine, that's unfortunate. And you will have protection because you might have to actually take out attack enemy bombers, and we're gonna be fighting B-17s, B-24s, and eventually B-29s. No thanks. And the bomber we have is the shitty Ki-21. This thing is absolutely horrible. I'm not even gonna bother doing anything because how long will it take for us to get the G4 in? That's unfortunate. Well, never mind. I was stuck using this thing. Copy modification. Rename. Ki-21A. Oh, capitalize that A. Nose gun. Oh, I can't put a cannon yet. Okay. Put 12.7 in nose. 12.7. Well, you can put cannons on all 3 areas. That's good. It ain't no fucking B-17. We're being able to put cannons on everything but the waist gun, but I digress. Get the better radio. Can't give you radar. Oh, we can actually improve your engines. Not the best range. What's the range of the Ki-43? Oh, okay, so the Ki-43 can actually escort you. I'm okay with that. Okay. And the FM. Let me just see what this can do with the new engine. What is the speed change? You're using the Suzy. Cruising speed 203, same max speed. The range drops, but these things are used for. You know what? I'm actually gonna do this with this. FM2. That's an @ sign. I don't want a fucking @ sign. Oops. 2. So we will do this new one. You will be flying over enemy ships, so you will have the armor. Better radio, just in case you get intercepted. I don't expect you to fight anything, but I digress. Alright. Very hardly armored plane. Can I? Oh my god, I can. Actually, you could. You'll keep the 7.7s for taking out enemy. Actually, you can take out enemy scouts. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll keep that. Because the Americans actually have a scary twin 30 cal machine gun in the back. And that's that. Now, I am going to also immediately just. The highest number, I believe, if I remember correctly, is 9. So 9. Days for torpedoes. Because these things take forever to build. And we will be using these. So I have no problem doing this. Because trust me, we will run out of these really quickly. Put those to the top. Now here's the interesting, as you can see, we have a lot of shit. We can get some cruise missiles, ballistics, the 4X air-to-air missile, the glide bomb from Germany, and my favorite things, the Okas, which are very easy for us to get. Somewhere. And you can do ballistic missiles, yes. The FX will be the fastest thing for us to get. because it just takes glide and wire. Then the second easiest thing for us to get would be the not one of these. Infrared IRH. Radio, anti-radar. Oh god. Radar, not you. And the Oko would be the second easiest to get. We got the bacterial bomb. And then we got these air launch torpedoes, which are able to be guided. We got acoustic homing, and then a magnetic. Then we have our surface air missiles, which is, this one is a radio command, and this one is also radio command. I guess they're all radio. SMA active, right? You need to get your oh, we got radios. We gotta build radios. Shit. I'll go with 100 again. Not 1,000, but 100. We can't build any radar yet. Because how would I ever get the low-powered one? Wait, that one's so much power. Air targets. 16. 20, yeah. 70. Hey, this thing is, I guess, technically better. Oh well. But we got technology, we got the production we're going. We have no fucking money and aluminum to do this shit. If you want to take a look up here on our upper left, we have only 4,800 yen. Only 300 aluminum, iron, and oil. Now, I will go into more detail in the next video of stuff. This is Tutos, and thank you for joining me on this Let's Play of Pacific Storms. Stay safe, and as always, have an awesome, awesome day.